My name is Nina Lee. I am a filmmaker, also a substitute teacher because film isn't paying the bills right now. Um, Writer, I do a lot of things.
And tell me about your film or series that you were working on that's gotten a lot of attention. But
Right.
before the controversy, but tell me what you were working on and the
Okay.
process.
Yeah. So, in it was actually 2015. I wrote this show called The Girls Room, and I was just like taking it around to friends and things like that. Whoever would like listen to me, I'm like, y'all, this is really good. Like, um, I want to write. I want to write this. I want to create this. At that time, I think it was called Unfriendly Black Hotties. And so it wasn't until 2017 that someone, a former friend, was just like, okay, I think we need to make this. I think it could be a big deal. And so we changed the name to the girls' room because a lot of the scenes take place in a girls' bathroom. The first time, it's about four black women, all in various stages of their 20s. And what else? Just everything that comes with being in your 20s. So social media, school, lack of funds, that type of thing. And so we are like, okay, we're gonna make this. We're gonna call it the girls' room, since they meet in a girls' bathroom. And then every episode after that, there's always like an impactful, like pivotal, I don't know, change that happens in the girls' bathroom. And so we we're not really expecting too much of it. We cast, we start doing promo for social media, and everything just goes viral. Everything we put out, we had like a color scheme. We wanted each girl like in monochrome outfits, and basically their color would kind of give a story on who their character is. People loved that. I mean, just everything went so crazy, and so we received funding from like a few people, and we were able to like shoot like a really good pilot. On the last day of shooting, our DP got robbed. They stole his computer, his hard drive, his camera. He hadn't put most of the footage, like uploaded it to AirDrop or something like that. Anything where the cloud, basically. And just other things with the show started crumbling. Um, so even though we had like, oh my gosh, probably hundreds of thousands of people like wanting to see this show, it never came out. We created a Kickstarter, and we were hoping that some of these larger corporations that were reaching out to us saying how they were looking forward to the show and they wanted to meet with us, that they would, maybe give us some money or anything like that. But we didn't hear from them. We didn't make our Kickstarter, and so the show just kind of died out. It was a lot of other stuff going on, and so I was just like, you know what, this is too much. I can't really handle all of this. And so we kind of just we just dropped it.
Yeah. And take me. So pretty much, you guys shot a pilot,
Mhm.
and the footage got lost.
Mhm.
But the show itself and the concept, it receives a lot of attention on social media.
It received a ton of attention on social media. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to describe
Yeah.
how many people were like looking forward to this show and how many people were reaching out to us, not just like smaller people, but larger corporations were like, we're looking at you. We want to see what happens with you all, where this can go. And so it was like a very high point in my life, and then it turned to a very, very low point very quickly because I thought that was going to be the thing that made my career excel. And it was not. It actually brought a lot of pain into my life.
Um. So in terms of the show, where did you guys leave off? Was it just something that you were planning to revisit in the future, or you know, where were you in the stages of it before the news?
It just how the show ended. Um, it was a lot of friends involved, and I don't know. Everybody wanted like ownership of this show, and I don't. People were kind of like trying to downplay me, and I remember one girl was just like, "You're this show is bigger than you. Like you don't need to be a part of this show. It's so big. Like you're just not good enough to be a part of this show." And I created and wrote this, and I had multiple people telling me stuff like this. And so after it kind of died out, I kind of was just over it. Like it was a great idea, but like, ooh, it just made me feel so bad. The people that I was doing the show with made me feel like horrible. And I kind of was all over the place then. Um, but just some of the treatment that I got from people that I considered friends because they thought this show was going to take off, it is just, I just kind of left the show completely alone. I was like, you know what? I can write something else.
True. And a couple days ago, you heard, you, what was your reaction when you started getting at replies?
So, okay, let's backtrack. A couple of days ago, I just check like my Twitter,
Yeah.
and people are like, this looks familiar at Nina Serafina. So I go and look at it. I'm like, oh, this looks awful. And then I'm like, okay, it sounds like I'm hating, but let me give you some context. And so that's when I never say that they stole the idea from me or anything. I just dropped, I dropped a poster, I dropped a teaser, just things like that from my show, Girls Room. And I don't know, people, it took Twitter by storm, and they were just like, no, it doesn't look familiar. This was stolen from you. And I mean, just thousands of people are like, this was stolen. People that remember the show from 3 years ago that had not kept up with me was just like, this looks really familiar. And then they would find like the Girls Room Instagram or Twitter, and it's like, this is why it looks familiar. It's been done before. This is stolen. I
Did
was
you recognize
like,
similarities?
I did. But at that point, I didn't want to be like, oh, there's similarities here. And then people be like, no, you're just bitter because yours didn't work out, and completely shut me down. So I didn't want to come out and say that. But when people started, voicing similar feelings to what I had, then I got like a little bit vocal, and I was like, okay. Because you know how the internet could be. If I was just like, I felt like this was mine, I thought people were going to be like, no, you hating. You ain't got nothing, so you trying to. But people were like, no, you have every right to feel the way that you feel. It looks way too similar for it to be a coincidence.
How do you feel?
I don't know. It's been a lot. This year's been a lot for me in general. It has not been like a very good year so far. And so when this happened, it kind of was just like, oh, this is so much. I don't know. I don't know.
Um, in terms of the response, has any of it gotten you inspired to see like more of your projects come to life and to create more?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've created so much. The thing with being a filmmaker, I think compared to other arts, or especially like a script writer, is that when you've written your script, that's literally like 10%. And so I have so many scripts, but that's only 10%. The next part is casting, camera. Oh my gosh, to rent a camera. I like shooting on an Arri Alexa Mini. To shoot on that camera is like 5,000 for 2 days. You still need lighting. You still need lenses. You need someone to work that camera. You need grip. Um, like I said, you need actors. You need set designer. You need locations. You need food. And even if you're like doing it on a very low level, like I'm going to use my iPhone, you still need audio. You still need actors. And sometimes it's hard. Like if you don't have no money, it's hard finding people that are like, okay, I'll do this for free. Because they got to eat too. Like they have to live. And so filmmaking, it's so hard. It's so much that comes with it. And so I'm very inspired. But inspiration is not enough with filmmaking. You need money.
Now, you this was filmed in Atlanta, conceptualized in Atlanta,
Yeah, everything I do is Atlanta. I am a very Atlanta person.
and what about the city makes you want to plant your seeds here and grow your career as well?
What makes me want to plant my seeds here is I love Atlanta. It's a very black city. It embraces black people here, and I love that. I went to Spelman College, and that's like a very important part of who I am. I can't tell you, even like with the rap scene, like, people will come to Atlanta and copy what we're doing. The South has always had something to say, and I want to say it here.
Now, have you gotten any feedback from the people involved with the production, or have you gotten a response from them at all?
I have not gotten a response from Dove. They've kind of just been ignoring me. I did reach out. They've reached out to two publications that interviewed me, but they have not reached out to me personally. And I have spoken to Lena, and she didn't really offer a solution. She just basically told me, she would never steal from Dove, but she does get where I'm coming from. But it sounds, or she would never steal from a black woman, my bad. But it sounds like I may have an issue with Dove, but like that I don't have an issue with her. And that was about it.